Done minute ago, King Charles ended a Prime Minister's career with just 26 words. No speech, no interview, no public appearance. Just one carefully written statement that's now tearing the British government apart from the inside. And if you think the monarchy has no power in 2025, what happened in the last 72 hours will prove you completely wrong. It started with a moment nobody saw coming. Prime Minister Keir Starmer, frustrated and angry, launched a public attack on King Charles. The details of what he said are still being debated, but one thing is clear. He crossed a line that British leaders have respected for generations. He insulted the crown, and for the first time in modern history, the king decided he wasn't going to stay silent. If this story sounds wild, hit subscribe, because what happens next gets even crazier. Within 24 hours, something extraordinary happened behind the closed doors of Buckingham Palace. Late Monday night, King Charles called an emergency meeting, not with the media, not with Parliament, but with his most trusted advisers, the Lord Chamberlain, senior members of the Privy Council, and constitutional lawyers. 1 minute ago, King Charles ended a Prime Minister's career with just 26 words. No speech, no interview, no public appearance. Just one carefully written statement that's now tearing the British government apart from the inside. And if you think the monarchy has no power in 2025, what happened in the last 72 hours will prove you completely wrong. It started with a moment nobody saw coming. Prime Minister Keir Starmer, frustrated and angry, launched a public attack on King Charles. The details of what he said are still being debated, but one thing is clear. He crossed a line that British leaders have respected for generations. He insulted the crown. And for the first time in modern history, the king decided he wasn't going to stay silent. If this story sounds wild, hit subscribe, because what happens next gets even crazier. Within 24 hours, something extraordinary happened behind the closed doors of Buckingham Palace. Late Monday night, King Charles called an emergency meeting, not with the media, not with Parliament, but with his most trusted advisers, the Lord Chamberlain, senior members of the Priv. The meeting went deep into the night, lit only by the dim glow of the palace's private study. And according to one royal aide who spoke anonymously, the king said something nobody expected. The Prime Minister has crossed a line no leader should ever cross. The monarchy must now defend its dignity and its survival. Those words spread through political circles like wildfire. By Tuesday morning, Westminster was in full panic mode because what the king did next hadn't been done since the 1930s, during the abdication crisis. He ordered a full constitutional review, a document reportedly titled Operation Sovereign Integrity. It outlined every legal option the Crown has if a sitting Prime Minister threatens the institution itself. Think about that for a second. The last time the monarchy took action like this, a king gave up the throne. This time, a king was preparing to defend it. When Downing Street found out about Operation Sovereign Integrity, the mood inside Starmer's office shifted from disbelief to pure fear. One insider described it simply. He realized he'd started a fight he couldn't win. But the king wasn't finished. Early Wednesday morning, sealed letters were hand-delivered to 3 people: the leader of the opposition, the Speaker of the House of Commons, and a senior Supreme Court judge. The contents remain secret, but sources close to the palace say the letters carried one clear message: protect Britain's constitutional balance. This wasn't a suggestion. It was a royal warning, delivered in writing, historic, direct, unprecedented. Within hours, the letters leaked, social media exploded, hashtags like #KingStrikesBack and #DefendTheCrown trended worldwide. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all flooded with videos of people expressing shock and support. Suddenly, the story wasn't about Starmer's anger anymore. It was about the king reclaiming his authority, and the British public was watching every second of it. Then came the moment that changed everything. Wednesday afternoon, the BBC interrupted regular programming for a special bulletin. Buckingham Palace was releasing its first official response. Newsrooms went silent. Millions of people stopped what they were doing. The king didn't appear on camera, but the statement was sure, sharp, and devastating. His Majesty remains committed to the unity and stability of the nation. He holds deep respect for Britain's democratic institutions and expects the same respect to be shown toward the Crown. 26 words. That's all it took. The palace didn't name Starmer. It didn't have to. The message was crystal clear. Disrespect the monarchy and there will be consequences. Within minutes, every news network in Britain was calling it the most powerful royal intervention in modern history. Political analysts were stunned, constitutional experts scrambled to explain what it meant, and the public, they were all in. That's when the floodgates opened. Crowds gathered outside Buckingham Palace. Thousands held signs reading, "Stand with the Crown" and "Defend our King." By Thursday morning, the crowd had grown so large that police had to set up barriers. Church bells rang across England, not because anyone organised it, but as spontaneous support for the monarchy. In Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham, even in northern Labour strongholds where Republican feelings sometimes surface, people were disgusted by Starmer's behaviour. A taxi driver from Manchester said it best in a street interview that went viral: "You can argue about policies all day long, but you don't insult the king. That's not politics, that's betrayal." That clip has been viewed over 5 million times because it captured what millions of Britons were feeling. This wasn't about left or right anymore, it was about respect for an institution that's held the country together for centuries. Inside Downing Street, Starmer watched his world collapse in real time. Every attempt to control the story failed. Press officers issued clarifications. None of them worked. Starmer tried to give an interview explaining his position, but it only made things worse. The more he tried to justify himself, the weaker he looked. And while he scrambled, the opposition pounced. Nigel Farage appeared live on television Thursday night, calm and controlled, praising the king's dignity. "When our institutions are under attack," he said, "silence is not weakness, it is strength." And the king has shown strength today. The studio audience erupted in applause. Overnight, Farage's approval ratings jumped by 12 points. Reform UK's donation page crashed because so many people tried to contribute at once. Even Conservative backbenchers began hinting that maybe it was time for a complete change in political direction. Behind the scenes, Starmer's own cabinet began turning on him. Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner reportedly stormed out of an emergency meeting Thursday afternoon after a heated argument. She wanted Starmer to apologise publicly. He refused, insisting that backing down would make him look weak. According to witnesses, she looked him in the eye and said, "You've made yourself the enemy of the people. You're dragging all of us down with you." His face went pale because in that moment he understood this wasn't just a political crisis. It was a battle for legitimacy itself. And in Britain, no leader survives a war against the crown. Not in 1936, not now. By Friday, the polls showed the damage was catastrophic. A YouGov survey revealed that 80% of Britons said the king did the right thing by responding. 68% said Starmer was unfit to continue as Prime Minister.